Hey y'all, I hope you guys are ready for this week's episode of, we can't call it Let's Talk Lemons anymore. So I think we'll go with Talking Lemons, which is my brand's name. So we'll stick with that for this as well. I looked it up on Instagram and somebody else has that name as well. And I think it's weird that they decided to do it around the same time I did, but they're doing the exact same thing, so I'm cool with it. Like, there should be more people out here in this world talking about some of the things that most people don't want to talk about, or things that they have to deal with and don't want to share. And let's bring it out, because like sometimes you don't really see your situation for what it is until you are looking at someone else's situation. So to be able to talk to other people about some things that are similar to what you have to deal with, or just new situations, because you may end up in that situation later yourself. So I think it's important for us to share our stories, to talk about things that we don't usually want to talk about. I think it's an awesome thing. And I think whoever is on Let's Talk Lemons in their podcast, kudos to them, because it needs to be done. But with that being said, I'm just gonna keep it to Talking Lemons on this side, because I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I don't want anybody stepping on my toes, because they already look toe up. So I don't need that. Okay, and if you could tell and see that it's just me this time, and that is because I decided to just talk about some things that I wanted to talk about this week. And it's not a cry for help, it's not woe is me, and this is certainly not the pity party that it's not a pity party. And I'm just thinking about all the things that I've had to deal with this week, and wanted to know if you were dealing with the same things, because we are all going through it right now with coronavirus, with Black Lives Matter, with being at home and quarantined. Even though I don't really think it's considered being quarantined anymore. I think it's just us staying at home, staying safe, and preventing the spread of coronavirus. So what I wanted to talk about, and I think I'm going to keep it short this time. Well, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about, and one of them being loving yourself and what that means. To me, loving myself means that I accept me in any form that I am, recognize who I am, my worth, all the things that I'm good at, all the things that I'm bad at, and still loving me, and it being okay that I'm not good at everything. I think that loving me means that I'll always choose me in whatever situation. I will never put myself down. I will accept any compliments that are given to me, and being okay with all of that. A lot of times when women go through, or not even women, it could be men. I've never really seen or heard anybody tell a man that you need to love yourself. But those are things that are definitely important for men and women to do, and children as well. And definitely if we are loving ourselves and making it known, we teach children to do the same thing. But a lot of times, from my perspective as a woman, I've been told this so many times that like when it comes to being a single person, or being even being in a relationship, like when times get bad for a person or for a woman, a lot of times people will tell you, you need to learn to love yourself, or you need to do this and that. But for me, I feel like there are times when I have doubt about myself, and it's mainly just a self-evaluation, trying to figure out what can I do to make me better, or what can I not do to make me better. And it's always just self-evaluation and just noticing the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm not doing, and just seeing how I can do it better. But it's never, I never put myself down. Like I feel like there's moments where I'm like, why am I not like this person, or why I'm not like that person? But those are short moments, because then I immediately tell myself it's not about them, it's about me. And I feel like, especially when it comes to being with other people or being around other people, and people tell you that you need to learn to love yourself, it's like that shouldn't be everyone's go-to to tell somebody. And only because I feel like, for me, I do love myself, and almost to a conceited point where I'm like, I love myself so much that I want to share that with others. Like, if I'm the kind of person that if I get something good, if I had some really good ice cream, if I had a really good burger, if I had a really good soda, I want to tell people about it. I'm not going to keep that to myself. I'm that kind of person. Like, I want everybody to experience good. And so for me, that's how I am about myself. I'm like, I feel good about myself. No, even though I'm overweight, even though I'm a little crazy, even though my situation, somebody told me that I was in a pickle. So even though my situation with me having children and being by myself and having been put myself into several stupid situations, even though that those things are present in my life, I still love me, like, enough to where it drags me back to the point of I've put myself in those stupid situations, but I've also pulled myself out. So, which is why I have so many of those situations, because I don't settle for less than what I think I deserve, or what I've been told I've deserved, or I just feel like, why settle for less? I mean, don't knock everybody that comes towards you. Like, give everybody a chance, and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But don't settle for something that doesn't make you happy. So when it comes to loving yourself, like, that means you love you accept you how you are. And if you don't love yourself, and you can recognize that, think about what is it that you don't love about yourself, or what makes you not love yourself, and change it. Because there are times when we get to a point where it's like, oh, I'm not happy with who I am. Change it. And if you don't know what to do to change it, or how to change it, there's plenty of resources. And again, it goes back to talking to others, because they can help. Their stories can help. Their situations can help. I think that most people are too scared to share their situations, because they're out of fear of judgment, out of fear of losing friends, out of fear of, just embarrassment. And it's not, or I'm sure some people just don't want to share because they feel like it's a waste of time too. But you not telling your story, or you not listening to somebody else's story, can be a hindrance to you and that person that you didn't share with, or to yourself for not listening to them. But anyways, so that to me is loving yourself. Another thing that kind of goes along with loving yourself, this is something that I came across this week, and this is one of my lemons, and right now it seems to be a fairly big lemon to me, and to somebody else it may not be. But dealing with the situation that I'm in when it comes to my kids' dads, and the drama and BS that comes with it. Like, I was able to take one of those things and figure out something about me, and that was being able to list all these things about me. Because I remember I told somebody this week that I only want the best for my kids. So whoever comes into their lives has to be good. Like, I don't want negative people in my kids' lives. I don't want anybody that's not going to be beneficial to them. That's just what I want for my kids, and I don't think that's a bad thing to want for them. But so to me, I had to take a moment to myself and think, what does that mean? What does it mean when I say that I don't want this kind of person in my children's lives? So what kind of person do I want? So I had to sit and list all of these things, because I can only assume that I want them to be on my level or above that. Like, I don't want my kids to have less than what they are already given, if that makes sense. So I was able to list out these things about myself, and I had to ask a couple friends. I asked my kids and I asked myself, what is it that makes me me and that makes me a good person? And I think the list wasn't long, but it was a lot. And I'm sure that there's a lot of things that I've missed, or a lot of things that that they missed. I don't know. But so that kind of like gave me a bit of a boost this week. And I think that's something important that everyone should do, is to again self-evaluate. Like, what is it that makes you you, and what makes you a good person, and what would you like to be on that list to make you a better person? So that's also another thing that I would like to do, is to make a list of things that I either need to do or stop doing to make me a better person. And only because I want my kids to have the best. So even if somebody else is to come into their lives, I would prefer them to either be on my level or more than that, and hopefully be able to teach us a few things, And last thing that I wanted to talk about was this thing that I thought about, and how and this is personal, like, this is me, and how I have a hard time committing to a situation, to like a physical thing. Like, I have a hard time doing that, and I recognize that, and I've recognized that for a while now. So I had this like connection. So I have 3 cars. First car I bought because I didn't have a car, and I was so used to just buying cars outright, and they weren't always the best cars, but they got the job done. So I have that car, and it's a Honda. Hondas are good cars, but that particular car, I hit a deer. That's what I did. And when I hit that deer, it messed up my whole front end of my car. And at the time, I was like, it's going to cost so much to get it fixed, because I only had liability and insurance wasn't paying for it. So at that time, I went and purchased another vehicle, but I was making payments on it, and it was a piece of crap. I mean, every time I would take this car to this place, and I'd be like, look at what's happening to this car right now. And they were like, okay, we'll fix it. And the last straw was when I went to go pick it up from them after they fixed it. The fuel line thing just burst right there while we were sitting there. I was like, look at this, I want my money back. So from there, I went through this program called Ways to Work. Very helpful, and they always have been. Like, from the very beginning, they have been the bomb. And I don't know if anybody else is, I know a couple people that have gone through that program, and the person that I work with, she's awesome. And I ended up going to get this Dodge Charger because I just had to have a Charger, and it was cheap, so I went and got it. And they, I got the loan through them, and I was driving this Charger home, and the next day the engine blew. And I was like, man, look at life. But fortunately, I had a warranty on it, and I was able to get it fixed. So I've driven that car for a while. So that's car number 2. Not too long ago, the engine blew on it again. So I'm like, apparently this car is garbage, because I was cheap. I couldn't afford the expensive version of the Charger, so I had to get the cheapest one. And I love that car because a lot of it is me. Like, I feel like that car is me. And I just I'm very upset that this engine is gone again, and of course there's no warranty on it now. So I'm like, do I put more money into this car, or do I just go get something else? So again, I go get another car, and now I have 3 cars. And this third car is not anything that I would ever choose to have. Certainly not anything that I would like to make payments on. And it's already breaking down. Like, what do I do? So the connection that I made when it comes to commitment, it's like I haven't really committed to any of these cars. Like, the Honda is still beat up from this deer situation, and from when I actually had like a fender bender. So the Honda is all jacked up, but it still drives. It still drives, and I drive it every now and then. But there's a lot that needs to be fixed on it. A lot. And then this Charger, like, I'm still making payments on it, so I'm somewhat committed to it, even though it's not perfect and it's not even running or put together at this point in time. So I guess that that's some form of commitment, but it's not a full commitment because I'm not driving it. And then this other car, I'm ready to give it up and get rid of it. Like, that's the kind of commitment I have with that car. So the connection that I made is my situation with my kids' dads. And I don't know how many people really know my situation. And granted, I'm sure there's so many other people that have this exact same situation, if not the same, less or more. And I related that to the situations that I'm in with my kids' dads, and like, that's the kind of commitment issue I have. And it's like, my first car, the Honda, reminds me a lot of my first ex-husband, and how it's like, it's not perfect, but it works in a way that it's less stress to me. So that's the connection there. This second car reminds me a lot of my most recent situation, and how that situation is cool. Like, there's no real, like, there's stress, but that's only because, we're not in the same home, and we don't always Like I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like we're cool. Everything's cool, and it just needs to stay that way. So I feel like I can stay in that situation and be cool. This last vehicle reminds me of my middle situation and how it doesn't make me happy. It's nothing but drama, nothing but problem. It's a problem, and I hate it. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can fix it or get rid of it so I don't have to keep dealing with drama and stress. And that's something that I need to work on, is commitment in anything. Like that goes for business, that goes for my cars, that goes for relationships, that goes for food. Like I have a hard time doing that, and I don't know what the reason is, but I feel like knowing that that's an issue is the first step, I guess. So if you have the same issue or have had the same issue and you figured a way to fix it, or you know of a way to fix it, share it, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have this issue. Like when you go to the grocery store and you want to go buy some jelly and you see all these options, so many options to choose from, and you stay in there for a while trying to figure out which one, because realistically you can't buy them all. I mean, you could, but who wants to have a whole bunch of jelly sitting at your house? So you have to choose something for that period of time, or get a couple different options. But I remember standing in the grocery store one day going to buy sour cream. Sour cream just used to be sour cream. Yes, there was two brands to choose from, and I already knew which brand I wanted. But then when I get to the grocery store, there's so many freaking options for sour cream. Like, which one am I supposed to get? Do I get the 8-ounce one? Do I get the 16-ounce one? Am I going to use all this? Am I not going to use all this? Do they have something smaller? Do they have something bigger? You got your low fat, you got your fat free, you got sour cream. Like, and then even further with me, I'd be like, oh, well, I could just make this sour cream at home because my mama taught me how to, so I could do that. It's just so many different things, and it's hard to choose because life is so short. I don't want to miss out on anything. I don't want to not have tried something, even if that means that I fail at something or I lose something. Like, at least I can say I tried. So, commitment. I'm telling you, it's terrible. Yeah. So, I do know that next week I'm excited, and you'll see why. But next week is gonna be single mom versus the non-single mom, and we're gonna compare, and we're going to talk about the things that we have to deal with individually and the things that we have that are similar and that we have to deal with collectively. So I'm excited about that. And also we're doing a raffle. I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video because I know nobody's watching at this point, and I'm okay with that. So, but we are doing a raffle, and we have like the $1 raffle, which has like the lipstick, the shadow, and the lashes. The next one has 2 lipsticks, the shadow, the lashes, and a mascara and some earrings. This is the $5 raffle. And then you've got your $10 one that has 3 lipsticks, some earrings, a necklace, mascara, lashes, eyeshadow, and some makeup brushes. So this is a fairly good deal. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, I haven't heard anything from anybody at this point. So if you want to throw in a couple bucks for a chance to win, your chances are fairly great right now. So if you want to get some of this stuff for $1, like, it would hurt me to give this away for $1, but hey, it's what I got to do. I would love for you guys to get into that. and we'll announce our winners next week when we do our show. So I'm excited for you guys to watch, and thank you for continuing to watch and for sharing and commenting and letting me know what you want to talk about, because it's certainly not about me, because I'm not the only one with problems in this world. I know that for a fact because I talk to a lot of people and they got them too. So if there's something you want to talk about, let me know. I don't mind. And if you want to come on here and talk about it with me, I would love for you to do that. I got a couple people coming this week. I'm so excited. And this right here, I feel like this is one of those things where I have to commit to, because I've started it and I don't feel like stopping right now. And I don't think that it'll ever get to that point, because this is one of those things that I just absolutely love, which is talking. and then to be able to talk about different things with other people, like I really enjoy it, and I hope that you guys are too. And I love all your feedback. I'd love some more. Tell me if you hate it, if you love it, if you want me to just stop. Please tell me, because I don't want my videos just sitting there getting dusty on the internet. So, thank you, and I will see you guys again next week.